All eyes will be on Pakistan this weekend as the U.S. and Iran prepare for historic negotiations to end the war. Vice President J.D. Vance is heading to the Middle East for in-person talks as the ceasefire with Iran hangs by a thread. The war is having a direct impact on American consumers. Today's new Consumer Price Index report shows inflation jumped to 3.3% last month. The increase was largely driven by soaring gas prices. And farmers in Oregon say it's putting their businesses at risk.
If we continue on into fall planting with high fertilizer and high diesel fuel and freight costs, then it's going to be really difficult. There's going to be a lot of farmers that will not be able to recover.
And gas prices are now at the highest point since the COVID pandemic. And the war is facing growing scrutiny on Capitol Hill, with Democrats questioning how it started and where it's heading. Oregon Congresswoman Andrea Salinas says the president has overstepped his authority, warning the conflict is costing billions and could put U.S. troops at greater risk. Here's part of our conversation. So you're a part of a group of Democrats pushing to rein in this war, and you recently supported requiring Congress to approve any further military action against Iran. Do you believe the president has overstepped authority in this conflict?
Definitely. The president has clearly overstepped authority by even going to war without congressional approval. The American people right now, they want lower costs, not costly wars. And this president is not fit to command our military, and he certainly should not be trusted with our nuclear codes. He is not fit to be the leader of the free world, and he certainly must be reined in on this war. I would like to see him removed from office.
Representative Andrea Salinas is among the vast majority of House Democrats and some Republicans to vote in favor of a war powers resolution last month to limit the president's ability to continue military action without Congress.
We need to rein in this president. He is out of control with this last social media post about a whole civilization will die. That is a war crime, full stop.
Do you think Congress should step in when the president talks this way?
100%. So the act of going to war without congressional approval is essentially an impeachable offense. This rhetoric threatening a war crime is also an impeachable offense.
Do you think rhetoric like what we've been hearing from the president puts U.S. troops on the ground at further risk?
Well, I know it's not leading us to a peaceful negotiation. One of the requests from the Iranians on their 10-point plan was to remove all of our troops from not just from Iran, but from the region. So yes, they are going to be more hostile towards us. And I do fear for the lives of our service members, and I pray for them and their families who are over in the Middle East right now.
Should lawmakers move to block funding for further military action?
That is what I will be doing. I will be blocking. He's spending about $2 billion a day, and we have higher costs here in the United States. And he is proceeding with an illegal war that he decided to, go it alone and just enter into this.
Do you believe Congress has failed to act quickly enough?
I do. I was asking my leadership, I was asking Republicans to please ask Speaker Johnson to bring us back. I think we should have been working on this over this last week while we were all back home doing work in our districts.
So what would a realistic off-ramp from this conflict look like to you? And what would success here look like?
I am not the one who got us into this, but I do think Congress needs to help this president get out of it.
And President Trump justified this war by saying it was necessary to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. But U.S. intelligence has cast doubt on how immediate that threat was. So is this war necessary to reach that goal? And are Americans safer because of it?
Hell no. No. As we know from our intelligence community, the United States was not at an imminent threat, which is why this is an illegal war.
What is immediately next for you in this fight?
We're going back to Washington, D.C. next week, and I would love to see, again, working with our Republican counterparts, how to figure out to pass a war powers resolution that reins in this president right now. This cannot continue.
And we reached out to Oregon's only Republican member of Congress, Cliff Bentz, and we have not heard back yet. Right now, the War Powers Resolution has failed in both the House and the Senate. The latest attempt to revive it was blocked this week. So there are currently no new limits on the president's authority in this war. Another vote is expected next week when Congress returns to D.C. But now we want to hear from you. What do you think about the war in Iran? How are you feeling the effects? And did anything that Congresswoman Salinas say tonight stand out to you? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090.